What is up, you guys? I'm Charmx. Today I'm going to be reacting to Film Theory, the horrific reality of Toy Story 4 by the Film Theorist. Now, I haven't reacted to a Film Theorist video in a long time now, but hopefully this will be very interesting. The title really caught me. What do you mean, the horrific reality of Toy Story? I'm very intrigued, to say the least, but with that being said, hopefully this will be awesome. The original link's in the description. Make sure you guys go subscribe to the Film Theorist. Without any further ado, let's begin.
Siri, what's $1 trillion to the 10th power?
1 trillion raised to the 10th power is 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0
I hate when he calculates how much money the next movie is gonna make.
Excuse me, some of us are trying to work.
It's a pretty sick beat.
Over here. Thank you very much.
Oh boy!
I like that intro.
Hello, intern.
I love that. I love that. That's an awesome little intro there.
Welcome to Film Theory, the show that's skeptical you'd ever get to infinity, let alone beyond. So the teasers and trailers have been unleashed, and Toy Story 4 looks to be yet another family-friendly box office slam dunk of a sequel, surprising literally no one, least of all the big mouse himself. But here's the thing about Toy Story, friends. In this day and age of brand safety and child-friendly programming, where Disney is so squeaky
Oh, look at this, putting Disney's past under the rug.
clean and more than eager to sweep some of their more questionable decisions under the rug, I am here to tell you that Toy Story may just be the worst movie of the bunch.
I highly doubt it, Matt.
And obviously, I am no stranger to how dark Disney movies can get. Whether it's cannibalism aboard the good ship Axiom, the body count of Moana, or Dumbo's high-flying adventures, with an emphasis on high, no childhood memory is safe from the show. But up until now, I've decided to let Toy Story just kind of skate past my radar. I was more than happy to leave it as the beautiful, moving trilogy commenting on the realities of growing up that it was.
Yeah, and how about we just keep it that way, Matt? We need to keep some memories from our childhood, don't we?
But then you, Mouse, had to push your luck. You had to go in for yet another sweet, sweet taste of that money-making nectar. And in the process, you summoned my wrath.
Yeah, so Matt's gonna go and ruin the movie for all of us before it even comes out.
Now I'm here today to prove to the world that Toy Story is undeniably the sickest, most twisted, darkest,
Oh my
G-rated
goodness, Matt, what the
movie
frick?
you could imagine.
That is terrifying, Matt. Why would you? No.
Twisted, darkest,
Oh, goodness.
G-rated movie you could imagine. That these tales of toys just trying to make their humans happy is instead a dark picture of inescapable slavery headed towards eventual disaster. Today's episode, loyal theorists, is dark. We are talking incinerating every character you love in a furnace levels of dark.
Oh boy.
We're talking Pixar dark. And I'm not even hyping this up for dramatic effect. It is a literal statement of what we are covering today. Don't believe me? Well, let's begin shattering some childhood, shall we? Just in case you've been locked into
I can't wait.
90s, here's a rundown of the aptly named Toy Story films, which, appropriately enough, tell the story of some toys. These toys seem normal enough when humans are around, but when left alone, they come to life. The toys love their own.
I always found that to be a little bit creepy, especially as a kid. Because, you know, as a kid, you actually believe that. Oh, they do come to life, don't they? I knew it!
Andy, and they go to extraordinary lengths to be with him. The original Toy Story film is all about the arrival of Buzz Lightyear, a cool new toy who threatens to unseat Woody as Andy's favorite. They eventually team up against the kid next door, a promising young man who seems destined to become a neurosurgeon one day.
No one's ever attempted a double bypass brain transplant before.
And they scar him so severely that he goes on to become a garbage man instead of pursuing his medical dreams. Note the skull shirt there, people. That is Pixar shorthand for same person.
Oh.
What's so bad about being a garbage man anyway? I mean, it's not a job with a cool title, but they make okay money. Definitely if you drive the trucks.
Woody learns that he's a collector's item and has to choose between that #museum life and returning to his kid. In Toy Story 3, Woody has to choose between that #daycare life and, you guessed it, returning to his kid. And in Toy Story 4's trailer, Woody faces his biggest choice yet. Will he choose that #carnival life, or will he return to his kid so that Pixar can continue printing money with these
It's it seems like they have quite the format going on here.
Equals to infinity and beyond. I think we all know the answer to that one. Now, with all that context out of the way, let's hop into the theorizing, shall we? Imagine for a moment that you're a toy in Toy Story. Start with you coming to life. Now, at this point, you've probably already assumed that a child's imagination is what indeed gives a toy life.
Well, I always just assumed it was a demonic possession, but okay then.
But in case there was any doubt about it, the Toy Story 4 trailer officially makes it canon.
Bonnie made a friend in class. No, she literally made a new friend.
Kids are essentially the gods that giveth life in the Toy Story verse. And from that moment on, you're told that your life has a singular purpose, to bring joy to the humans. And that's not an exaggeration, it is a rule of this universe, again represented by the Toy Story 4 trailer.
Why am I alive? You are going to help create happy memories that will last for the rest of her life.
Oh my god.
So a child's
Wait a minute. Was that sound effect from Rick and Morty? The thing that's like, what's my purpose? And then Rick says your purpose is to give butter or something like that? I'm not sure. Also, I'm just waiting for this to go downhill. So far, it's not gone downhill yet.
Imagination gives a toy life, which is cool and all, but the weird thing is, toys don't automatically know this when they're actually given life.
You are a child's plaything!
You are a sad, strange little man.
But if you're a toy who's skeptical about this or doesn't believe it initially, don't worry. The concept is gonna get drilled into your head over and over until you finally decide to come around.
Somewhere in that pat of stuffing is a toy who taught me that life's only worth living if you're being loved by a kid.
And you see, that's where our problems begin.
Hey Matt, how do you think I'm alive? I mean, Charmx doesn't really love me, so how am I alive? Explain that, Matt.
Not
Oh,
all
boy.
toys aspire to be a child's plaything. Remember how Buzz went through a huge existential crisis when he found out that he wasn't a space ranger in Toy Story 1? He was devastated to learn that he wasn't unique, that the identity he thought he had for himself was a complete fabrication. What really got me thinking about this, though, was the Toy Story 4 trailer again, where we meet Forky, who's going through an existential crisis of his own.
I am not a toy. I was made for soup, salad, maybe chili, and then the trash.
But don't worry about toys.
Matt, do you take joy in ruining childhood movies? Or childhood franchises?
By the end of the movie, he comes around. He learns that toys do in fact have worth. Worth that is entirely dependent on being subservient to the whims of their masters. I mean children. Kids who really appreciate the sacrifices that the toys are making on a day-to-day basis.
Quick, make a space! This is where the spaceship lands!
Who am I kidding? These masters don't even realize they're alive. The toys are born into a system where the very fact that they are alive is kept in the closet, both figuratively and literally. A world in which they are terrified of humans seeing them as they really are.
Andy's coming, everybody! Back to your places, hurry!
Think about it. Toys are literally imprisoned in boxes and bedrooms until a human child decides it's time to play.
It is pretty messed up. It is pretty messed up that now that you think of it, or the more that you think of it. But at the same time, you know, if the kid, you know, stops, you know, giving them love or believing in them or whatever, then wouldn't they just... So they're kind of just subject to this life, right? Like, they have no other option.
Play with them. And you can't see it because this is all voiceover, but I am tossing strong finger quotes over the word play there because this so-called playtime is 100% free of toy consent. Whatever that child wants, that toy must oblige. The norm is just to lay there and let your human do whatever it wants with you and then cast you aside when they're done.
Waifu pillow stories, everyone.
And despite it all, the toys still show unconditional love to their kids. Something we all get sniffly over in the theater because Randy Newman is singing about friendship or whatever. But if you start peeling back the surface layers, that shot of Jesse...
You got a friend in me. Here's my impression of him.
looking longingly out of a window is really just a textbook case of Stockholm Syndrome. When you look at what the toys go through and what they have to do to maintain the status quo of this society, it's a system that outright denies toys self-determination, then doesn't even allow them to make their own existence known. But humans are the ones who gave them life in the first place, so it makes sense. I hear you saying down in the comments, and
isn't that what I just said? Something like that? If the humans give them a life in the first place, and if the giving them a life is based off of the human, you know, believing in it or freaking loving them or whatever, as soon as that stops, like as soon as the love stops or as soon as them believing stops or whatever, then you would think, the same would happen where they would no longer be alive. So you think that they're just kind of subject, or that they have to just live in that situation in order to live, right?
Sure, you are more than welcome to believe that. That is totally fine with me, but before you make your decision, let me also ask you this. You didn't get a choice in being born, did you? And so you would also be okay being the plaything of your parents? You know, the people who gave you life without your knowledge? Just asking. So, as a toy, that's your life. A lifetime spent in servitude to masters who control your every action and don't even know that you're alive.
Wait, so since they are alive, does the kids' attitude towards them determine whether they stay alive? You know, like, if the kid just stops playing with the toys and grows up, do they just, you know, I don't know. Because if they can still stay alive, then it's a different story.
Then, as we see in Toy Story 3, they grow up and they abandon you. Yay!
Yeah. So they abandon. So you'd think that the toys would then, but since they don't, then they would be technically just like humans. So yeah, I think Matt has a point here. Oh no, Matt. Oh no, don't ruin this.
Happy G-rated kids movie. But we're still not done because we haven't taken this to its logical conclusions. Because for as awful as this systemic indentured servitude might seem, at least you have the sweet release of death to look forward to, right? Right?
Well, that's morbid, Matt. Morbid, Matt, Pat.
Maybe not. Because there are some pretty old toys running around in these movies. In Toy Story 2, we learned that Stinky Pete was manufactured back in the 50s, and he hasn't aged one bit since his Woody's Roundup days.
Oh yeah.
Done an exceptional job of keeping himself in mint condition, but the Toy Story 4 trailer features a slew of other vintage toys. They're not under glass, and they seem to be doing just fine too. Furthermore, toys don't have organs. So riddle me this, how are you gonna die of natural causes if there are no organs that can fail? And furthermore, if there are no organs...
Oh my goodness, Matt, stop ruining this. I can kind of see where he's going. So I think the kids initially bring the toys to life, but after they're alive, then the toys can, you know, do their own thing. But they choose to be with the kids, and then the kids will grow up and abandon them, and then they have nothing. As soon as they stop believing in the toys or whatever, it doesn't matter. And I was just under the impression that, you know, once they stop believing, that the toys would probably go, but as... you know, shown in here, there's still toys from like the 1950s and whatnot that are still around. So obviously that's not the case.
Inside of a toy, no brain, no heart. Is it even possible to kill a toy? No, but really, how do toys end their life in this series? Think about it.
Wow.
We know for a fact there is nothing in a toy's body or head that is vital to life. After all, there's a friggin' fishing pole with legs walking around in Sid's room. It seems to be doing just fine. And thanks to Sid again, we also know a toy's body part can still function even after being severed from the body itself.
Man, this is a very sad episode. I mean, hearing there is no way out for these toys is just so sad, seeing as I can relate.
Unfortunately for them, they are very much alive and still suffering at the hands of his torture. We also know that toy death isn't tied to the kids. While it seems perfectly logical that children, as the gods in this world who giveth life, would also taketh it away when they stop playing make-believe, that isn't the case.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but yeah, that's not the case, as you've shown by the toys that are like way, way too old, and they're still alive, so it's not the case. So there is no way for them to... That's really messed up.
At all. We've seen many toys throughout the series who remain alive long after their children have outgrown them and quit playing make-believe. It's also implied that even adult toy collectors who just buy toys and keep them in a box on a shelf can also instill life into the toy. So throughout this entire franchise, we have yet to see a truly dead toy. But of course we've seen toys die, I hear you saying. There's the whole incinerator scene at the end of Toy Story 3. And first, we never actually see if a toy's life is truly taken away by that. But secondly, what if it is? Are you telling me that the only
way out is through recycling?
way that a toy can die is by burning to death or being completely destroyed? Think again back to Sid's room, where toys are ripped apart, army men are drowned and maimed in the backyard, and they're still just walking around. They need to be atomized, melted into nothing to bite the big one.
It's pretty dark, and I never thought of that before, really, until now.
Is that revelation supposed to make me feel better about this universe? But oh no, friends, I can take it one step further here. Not only is a death by fire or explosion or just complete annihilation the only way for a toy to bite the big one, more often than not, it's also gonna have to require them to make the choice themselves. Most toys are gonna have to choose to finish the
that's true.
Think about it. If I throw my Woody away and it goes to the garbage dump, from there, he's still alive. He's either buried alive under the mounds of garbage that Wally's gonna collect in a few centuries, or else wandering around the wasteland alongside the fragments of all the other broken, abandoned toys. Unless they actively seek out an incinerator, they're just there, hanging out forever.
Well, they can leave though, right? I mean, whether they're in a dump or not, there's an end to the dump. So they can still decide to leave and then go live a life that they want, right? It's not like they're stuck in the dump and they can't get out. It's like they can leave.
For a death that'll never come until they make the choice to sacrifice themselves to the fire. Sure,
I mean, once they're out of the hands of the owners and they're free to go live the life they want, I mean, at that point, why would they want to go? So, I mean, they can just go and live the life they want as soon as they're free of the owner, right?
It's one of the most moving, tense, emotional scenes ever, watching our heroic toys escape the incinerator at the end of Toy Story 3, but the sad truth is that slow descent into the fire is what awaits most of the toys that we see throughout these movies. Oh wait, sorry, they have to go through the chopper first.
Holy moly.
So, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that as you line up to go see Toy Story 4, which will undoubtedly be about Woody growing up and finding a new purpose in life, finding a life path that doesn't depend on making children happy, because he, just like Bo Peep and those creepy ventriloquist dolls, is just too old for children to love anymore. He's probably got asbestos in his stuffing or something like that. And what else is Woody gonna do? He's never gonna die, at least until the moment he chooses to.
Yeah, they have to go and live their own life.
Or randomly catches on fire. Disney, brand safe for all the kiddies. So that, my friends, is the dark truth of Toy Story. The one.
It is pretty messed up. It is pretty messed up. But I don't know, I kind of like that in like movies where it's really like friendly, but there's like this really dark side to it. I don't know, I kind of like that.
One that they don't want you thinking about too much as they play that Randy Newman song for the umpteenth time. Show us the I want the receipts. Reveal the truth to us. But then again, there is one other way this whole Toy Story could play out. If you look at the toys across the 3 movies, the Pixar universe could be headed into a state of war. A human versus toy total war. And if
that'd be weird if they were to do that. I mean, they could, but that'd be just really weird. It'd be kind of like, what's that movie? It's called like Toy Soldiers or something, where the toys get like a chip in them that turns them like alive, and then they go and decide to start fighting the humans. I used to love that movie as a kid.
That's the case, well, it's not gonna be looking too good for the humans. But more on that in the next episode.
Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. I like this. There's another movie that MatPat's kind of ruined for me, but whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think MatPat's correct, and that, you know, the only way for the toys to really, you know, is to go into the fire, which is pretty messed up. But, I mean, I think that, you know, once the toys are old enough and they do get discarded and they go to the dump or whatever, once they're in the dump, they're basically free to, they're basically freaking free to go and live the life they want, right? I mean, it's not like nothing's keeping them in the dump. There's an end to the dump, so just keep friggin' walking, and eventually you're gonna get there. And then you can go live the life you want. So although it might be sad that your owner doesn't care about you anymore, at the same time, you're basically free at that point. There's a positive. There's always a positive. But anyway, I hope you guys like this. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up if you're new, and subscribe to join the family. And make sure you guys go subscribe to the Film Theorist. The links in the description. I'll see you guys next time. Boop!